Hi, I'm Emma Laird.
And I'm Alex Burunova, and our project is Satisfaction. Satisfaction is a nuanced psychological drama about two British composers who can't seem to address something they're having a really hard time communicating as they vacation on a Greek island off season. And when Lola, one of them, meets a local woman on a nudist beach and brings her in, tensions escalate.
So one of the things that Lola mentions early in the film is that she wishes she could synthesize love as a drug. How does that longing for love play into her story?
I actually think it's less about a longing for love and more about trying to create a world that's safe for her and what's the best coping mechanism for what she goes through. And I think that is to be in that relationship. I don't think her motive in being in that relationship is from love. But of course, on a very human level, there is probably a desire for love. But I guess there's a basic foundation of safety and having to deal with and grieve the stuff that she goes through before she can actually allow herself to feel love, I think.
Yeah, I think, as human beings, we're all programmed to long for love and to want it. And sometimes we kind of make wrong choices to be loved or to feel that feeling, and we betray ourselves. And so this story is a little bit about that self-erasure and losing yourself in another person in the name of love. As a queer writer, it was important for me to tell a story that is set in my kind of world where every character is queer. I personally, don't believe in monosexuality. I believe that sexuality is not only a spectrum but also a journey, and we are all should be allowed, and we should want to discover our sexuality throughout our lives. And so that's kind of like what the main character of the film is doing. She is exploring her sexuality throughout the film. And actually, every character in the film is exploring their sexuality while they are each queer. They're trying to find what it is and how to identify. So I wanted to make it complex and, without oversimplifying things, set a story in that kind of world. One of the pivotal moments in a film where the main character kind of lets out that thing that was unspoken for so many years, and I've scripted it that way that we don't hear what she says and we just hear really loud waves, because it's not about that. We know what she's talking about. And so sound plays a huge role in a film. First of all, it's a film about a composer who takes her inspiration from natural sounds and a score composed by the talented Midori Hirano, who uses natural sounds in her music. She does this cool electronic music where she mixes trains and AC units with classical piano. And then when I heard it, I was like, yes, that's our main character. Let's do a lot of that. And then really talented sound designer Javier Umpieres from Mexico was able to create non-musical scores. So he's also a musician in his own right. So he would take non-musical sounds like cicadas, waves, local sounds from the island, and he would compose entire scores from it together with Midori, but there are no musical instruments. And so it was important for me, because it's a story about a composer who stopped playing music, who stopped hearing music, to not have any score in Greece where we catch her in a story, but we do have score, it's just non-musical.
So what was it like for you playing two eras of this relationship?
Yeah, we were lucky because we kind of shot them scheduling-wise. We were on the island doing all the present-day stuff. And then we went to Athens to do all the past, the flashbacks. So it was just shooting-wise, it was great that we kind of had the difference, because it was almost like, two different characters in a way. I was very, very grateful that we got to shoot in that way.
Yeah, we got a chance to have a separation. So the story follows a character who is really wild, vivacious, and strong in the beginning of her journey, and then there is an event that happens after which she loses who she is, and she becomes almost a different person. And so we're able to shoot those two timelines separately and have some time in between.
The preparation that we did on this was something that I've not experienced with any other project. We had so much time. Me and Finn, we lived in an apartment together. We did piano lessons together. We improv'd for like 2 weeks with Alex in Greece. Where we cooked together. So there's just a bunch of stuff that made it into the film that just came from sitting with Alex days at a time and really being uncomfortable because I really was not a fan of improvisation. And but it allowed for growth as an actor, but also a lot of the stuff that you see in the film is somewhat scripted, but it comes from improvising that we did in rehearsals. And yeah, we're like, you bought a bunch of ingredients one day and you were like, make a Greek salad for everyone. So me and Finn were there like chopping, and I just couldn't chop onions. And we were just kind of speaking to each other while Alex listened, and she was like, okay, we're keeping that. We're going to just do that again. And that was so much fun because it's obviously, there's a lot of tension and it's quite difficult to shoot the present day stuff. So when we got to go and do all the past and have fun, it was just like it was almost like a documentary. Both of us, it was really important for Alex to have our own accents. So I'd never done that before. There was something that I can't really describe about shooting this film that felt more real than anything else I'd ever done, where she kind of leave the cameras rolling and we just kind of do our own thing, and there was so much freedom creatively as an actor to be on this. So yeah, Finn and I were just kind of going with it, and whilst I say I hate improv in this scenario, it turned out to not be the case after all, which was a nice surprise.
Without giving away any spoilers, this is a film about an abusive relationship and how we, and unhealthy relationships, because relationships can be a place of deep love, but it can also be a place of self-erasure. And so I was interested in painting a portrait of somebody who lost herself in another person. And, she has to reclaim a sense of self and be able to look her pain in the eye, because it's very hard to do, when healing from trauma. I think it's not about erasing it, it's about embracing it fully and embracing it as a part of your story. And if you're able to look back and say, this happened to me and it made me stronger and it made me who I am today, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, like speaking to that, it's kind of like being able to go through something like what Lola goes through and it not change you for the worse is quite powerful. And I think at the end you're kind of left to your own imagination of what her life is after, but you would hope that she kind of finds that old version of herself and that this thing hasn't kind of changed her for the worse forever,
Yeah, I think to me, those kind of experiences have a power to make us stronger and have power to, as an artist, I think she became a better artist and a stronger artist if you can embrace your past, I think.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think, at the core of the story is it's a theme of reclaiming your voice and empowerment and finding your voice as an artist anew in a stronger, more powerful way.